Hey, Coach Kinsey Shae here for Heart Space. Like, subscribe, do all that fun jazz. Today, we're going to talk about why SPACE, the acronym, is important while you're grieving. Many of us might think of grieving. Let's just rewind that back a bit. I'm going to talk about what grieving means to a lot of people and what it actually kind of means, and what the acronym SPACE means, and then I'll break it down. So grief, everybody just thinks of it as when somebody passes away. It's not just when somebody passes away. We can have grief when we lose a friendship. We can have grief when we lose ourself, our identity because of a trauma. We can have grief whenever we see something different or we're becoming something different. We can grieve who we used to be. It's not all about when somebody dies. So give yourself some ease and grace in knowing that there is grieving when you are expanding and growing in yourself. There is grieving when you have a trauma. After my car accident, I felt grief of losing my identity as being a staff nurse in a hospital because I identified with that was my identity, a nurse. But prior to that, I knew there was something more inside of me, and that's why I'm here today, because I grieved my past self so that I could become who I am today. So I really wanted just to invite you just to observe and reflect, reserve the judgment when you're becoming somebody else, because when you up-level your life, there are going to be people that aren't going to be in your life, and it's okay to grieve. When I was just about to pop on, I'm going to pull a card, and it says, weight of the world. And a lot of us, when we're grieving, when we have trauma or we lost somebody or we feel like we're losing ourselves, we feel like we have the weight of the world on us because we're living up to other people's expectations. And I'm here to say that expectations that matters is you. What are your values? What are your standards? What are your boundaries? So I'm not going to go into the stages of grief. I think we all know that, but I just kind of wanted to do another spin on grief. Now, SPACE, it's an acronym that I made up that really encompasses what I think is important. The S is seek support. P is practice self-care. The A is acknowledge and recognize. And C is connect with yourself. And the E is express yourself. So let's break these down. Seek support. The standard patented is like get medical care, do this, but there are a lot of things that you can do in your own world to seek support. You can do support groups, you can have friends, you can have family, you can hire a coach, a mentor, just something that's outside of you that is able to elevate you through and move through the problem, move through the grief. Now, practicing self-care, I love, whether it's mindfulness, yoga, whether you like to paint, whether you like to read, give yourself time and space to be with you, to be present with yourself and honor what your body needs so that you can move forward and move through the grief. Now, A of the part of space is acknowledge and recognize. Acknowledge and recognize that grief is normal. No matter the situation, no matter the trauma, when you feel that you're losing something, when you're losing control, losing the memories, losing anything, the first thing to do is to move through them with acknowledging the feelings, with recognizing that it's normal that you feel this way. Pure and simple, so that you can surrender it and let go of it. And that kind of moves into C of space, connect with yourself. Because the only way we know the GPS of if we're moving through it is if we connect with ourself, connect with our heart space, because that is our intuitive space. That is our wisdom. And that is purely what you feel. It's magical when you can tap into your own magic, your own GPS, not the expectations that everybody's throwing at you. You should be doing this. This is how you should do it. This is simply holding space for yourself, kind of tapping into the feminine energy instead of the masculine energy of, how can I fix this? How many of you have friends when you tell them, I just feel really sad today, I don't know what's going on, and they're just like, this is what you should do, right? That's not really what you need. I would invite you to have somebody that's just kind of, you're holding space, like your cry tribe, the people you call where you're like, you have like common words like, I just need to release today. I just need to cry today. I just need to vent today. And when I say vent, it's not negative venting. It's embracing your emotions and expressing them. And that goes into E, expressing yourself. Because the more that we put in and we avoid and we don't take care of, it's kind of like a kettle on the stove. It's at a slow simmer and you keep on adding more heat. Eventually it's going to pop, and we don't have control over that. But if we know that our soul is wanting to release, we can do it. We can release the heat without it making that loud whistling. I hope that metaphor kind of makes sense to you. But it's just seeking support, practicing self-care, acknowledging and recognizing, and connecting with yourself so that you can express yourself. And it's important because it keeps you present to your intuitive wisdom. Pure and simple. It's not going to take away the pain or anything like that. Eventually it will. But at first, you have to feel the uncomfortability of the pain before you can move through it. Because if you don't feel the pain now, the cost later on could be far greater because we don't have control of that whistling projection of, the tea kettle. So I'm just really inviting you to seek support, to practice self-care, acknowledge and recognize that you are safe. And this is normal. And connect with yourself so you can express yourself. So I hope you enjoyed this week's Heart Space, and I will see you next week. It will probably be a little bit more raw and stripped down. I'm helping Lisa Nichols with her event, Thrive to Inspire. So I'm so grateful to do that. And If you haven't picked up my book, Warrior Surgery Mindset, The Seeds of Resilience, I'll put it in the link down below. It's on Amazon. You can get it on Kindle also. And if you feel you need help, you know, working through old belief systems, working through your surgery journey to, get the resilience to move through your surgery journey, I would love to help you with that. I'll put a link down and we can link up on a possibility call just to see what your next steps are. So, my name is Kinsey Shae, transformational coach, heart math trauma sensitive practitioner, your guide to your truth, to your essence, to self-discovery and alignment. Have a blessed week, and I will see you next week. Light, love, and gratitude.